Unicorns have been a part of human culture for thousands of years. It's been said that the unicorn was sacred to both the Greeks and Romans, who considered them symbols of purity and chastity. They were also thought to be friendly creatures that kept the forests safe from harm. The most famous story about unicorns involves Alexander the Great finding one sleeping under a tree in Asia Minor in 333 BC. There are many stories from different cultures that tell of unicorns. Unicorns are part of many cultures. In fact, there are over 100 different versions of unicorn lore in various religions and mythologies. The Bible is one such example. It mentions unicorns twice, first as being white and having a single horn, Numbers 23:22, then as having a tail like a cedar and hooves that made sparks when they struck stones, Job 39:9-10. The Book of Psalms also speaks of these creatures, calling them strong ones who inhabit the desert, Psalm 92:10. In addition to their biblical history, and even before this, there have been other stories about unicorns throughout history. Some say that the ancient Greeks saw them for themselves, while others claim that Marco Polo brought back news from Asia about this mythical creature's existence there. The unicorn was often used for symbols of purity and chastity. The unicorn was often used for symbols of purity and chastity. In medieval bestiaries, the unicorn was described as a fierce animal that could only be captured by a virgin who lured it with her song. The unicorn would then lay its head in her lap, at which point she would cut off its horn and bring it home as proof of her success. The symbolism behind this myth is clear. Virgins are pure and chaste. They can tame even the wildest beasts with their purity. The most famous unicorn myth is the one written by a French writer named Nicolas de la Montfauquiers in 1616. This story tells of unicorns as small, squat creatures with only one horn. The most famous unicorn myth is the one written by a French writer named Nicolas de la Montfauquiers in 1616. This story tells of unicorns as small, squat creatures with only one horn. The Greek physician Cetetus c. 400 BC wrote about an Indian animal that he called the wild ass, which had a horn on its forehead and could not be captured by hunters because it would kill itself before being taken alive. In China, the mythical Chai Lai was described as having a single horn on its head from which flowed an elixir that would cure all diseases if drunk from once in your lifetime. The Chinese also had a legend that talked about how the unicorn would help virgins who were in trouble. The unicorn represents power, grace, and purity, and for centuries it has been a symbol of royalty and nobility. The unicorn represents power, grace, and purity. For centuries it has been a symbol of royalty and nobility. Unicorns have been around for thousands of years, dating back to ancient times when they were first depicted in cave paintings. In addition to being associated with royalty, unicorns are also associated with purity because they are white in color except for their horn and have never been seen drinking or eating anything other than water from springs or streams that flow from virgin soil untouched by humans or animals alike. The unicorn is a symbol of strength and power. It represents the ability to see through deception, pretense, and illusion. Unicorns are often depicted as having a single horn on their foreheads, but they can also be seen with two horns. The single-horned unicorn represents purity, while the two-horned unicorn represents balance between good and evil forces in our world. Unicorns are often depicted as white in color, but can also be seen with a variety of other hues. In some cultures, it is believed that the color of their body represents the quality of their soul or spirit. For example, in Chinese culture, red is considered to be the most auspicious color for a unicorn because it represents good luck, prosperity, and happiness. Unicorns have an interesting history that goes back thousands of years. The unicorn is a mythical creature that has been described in the folklore of many cultures. The first written references to them appear around the 4th century BCE, and they were described as having a single horn on their foreheads and a lion's body with a horse's head. In later folklore, unicorns were said to have deer-like bodies with horns instead of antlers. This version became popular in medieval Europe after Marco Polo brought back stories from China about these creatures. The word unicorn comes from the Latin unicornis, meaning one-horned. The most common description of unicorns is a white horse with a single horn on its forehead, which is often represented in medieval art. Unicorns are also said to be able to fly and have healing powers. These abilities were often attributed to narwhals in medieval Europe. Unicorns are associated with purity and grace. Their horns were said to have magical powers, including the ability to purify poisoned water. The horn was also used as a symbol of strength and power in Asian cultures. Conclusion: the way we think about unicorns has changed over time, but one thing that remains constant is their ability to inspire awe and wonder. From ancient Greece to medieval Europe, we've seen this enigmatic creature evolve into something more than just a mythical beast. It's now become an important symbol for purity and power in many cultures around the world.